I'm CK, and tonight we're starting another It's a Mystery to Me kit. You know what it is, but I haven't opened it yet. It's something from either eBay or Amazon. As you know, I buy a bunch of these inexpensive kits and see what they are and see if they're worthwhile for beginners, or if they're fun, or if they're just kind of junk. So we'll see what this one is. Hope you enjoy it. Here's the package. And it's from CS at ironsconnects.com out of Englewood. However, I'm sure it's not made in Englewood. Get our X-Acto knife and we'll cut into this. And of course, bubble wrap. Bubble wrap stinks. Use corrugated cardboard. Use cornstarch packing peanuts. Use anything but bubble wrap. Okay, we've got some stuff here. Got a bunch of LEDs, an external power connector, trimmer, a little daughter board with something potted on it, a speaker, and a circuit board. I think this might, well, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. And then we've got another board. So there are two kits in the bag. We're going to pick one to do tonight, and then one to do, they look similar. In fact, they look like they have the same daughter board inside. Huh. Well, let's focus on one at a time. We'll open this one up first and see what we have. Oops, we have an LED that almost abandoned ship. Got a little PCB that appears to have all the values of the components on the board. So that these are all 200 ohm resistors, 200 ohm resistors, 9012 transistors, a CD4060 controller, a couple more, a 1.5 meg, a 10K resistor, the trimmer, a couple of caps, and then power in. Unfortunately, it doesn't say the value of the power. I always like it when they print it on there in case I don't actually get any build documentation. So the build documentation is this. Oh, I'm trying to unfold it. There's nothing more. Here's the schematic. It's all based on the CD4060. And here's the little daughter board that apparently talks to the speaker. And so the, trying to see where the flow from the chip to this daughter board is. I don't see, I'll figure that out. And a bunch of LEDs that light up for various reasons. On the other side, they have the bill of materials. So the values match with the layout number, which again you don't necessarily need because you they already print the values on the circuit board. Now there's a URL to show hopefully build instructions. I mean again, I don't really need build instructions for this one, but it'd be nice to have them so we can see how a beginner might approach this. There's a little quality. August of 2021, somebody inspected this. Yay! Little motherboard, daughter board, which based on my past experience with these, I think it will go on top of here. So main thing I need to remember is as we install resistors, I got to save a number of resistor legs to use to attach this to there. See anything interesting in this parts mess? Nope, just standard components. Nothing out of the ordinary. So I'm going to turn off the cameras, get the build guide up, and get ready to start putting this together. So there wasn't a build guide at that URL. We just get this page in Chinese that I'm not proficient in Chinese, so I can't read it. So I'll tap it now. It appears that because the emphasis on this page is, now I'm hopping around at random. I want to get that pop-up menu to go back up, and it won't go back up. Well, I think this is primarily designed to be a demonstrator for the CD4060 chip, and I looked that up. It's a TI chip. It's a 14-stage ripple carry binary counter divider and an oscillator. So I'm going to make some assumptions here that this, well, first off, I'm going to make the assumption that this is a knockoff part because the TI logo is really badly done. I mean, it's even gouged. It's like they took a branding iron and put it on there and it didn't brand very well. So I think that's a rip-off chip. But it's going to be a little sound maker that's taking its data source from whatever is potted in here that's going to give it the information on how long to pulse the speaker and at what frequency, and I'm going to assume that the counter sides are going to be what's lighting up the various LEDs. Now the only real problem I have with not having a build guide is there's a whole bunch of LEDs here and I don't know what color goes where. So I guess we're just going to have to make something that might be aesthetically pleasing and go from there. Use our solder buddy, which is not the name of the product. Oh, wait. Oh no, that's a bill of materials for last night's project. Don't need that anymore. So this is going to be a pretty quick mechanical build because there's not much to this. So I'll put the cameras on fast motion and you can watch it go together in a blur. Okay, back live with some more live commentary. Everything's done except the little daughter board, and I think I got the LEDs right. I may have these two reversed, but I was trying to be symmetrical, and the silk screening's a little ambiguous. And one thing also I want to point out that I didn't notice until I was putting the transistors in, there's also a jumper here, so you need another resistor leg to do that. Now I wanted to go live because we're going to be putting this daughter board on here, and there is actually a number on the motherboard on the circuit board that might be the part number to this part, so I'm going to try and bring it up. It's a CL 9300. CL 9300. Ta-da! Sheet. Let's see what this says. Well, there's one from Cisco, but that's not, it's a C, it's not a CL. I'm not seeing, no, I can't see a chip with that name on it, or parts designation on it. So the question, of course, is, how does it go? What's the orientation? I'm going to make an assumption that it's oriented like this. And, you know, quite frankly, it either is or it isn't. So we'll take our chances here. If it isn't, we'll desolder it and try and solder it the other way. Now we got to get these little pins in here. So take my locking tweezers and grip the pin about there and set it down like so. Making sure I have enough down below to spread it out, because as you can see, the pins on the pin holes on the board are way far away compared to the pin holes on the daughter board itself. Oops. It's too much. So yeah, nothing particularly interesting about the build of this, just pushing a bunch of resistors in. One thing I didn't mention, the circuit board quality. It's a basic circuit board. In other words, traces are pretty big. There's no through-hole plating. However, on the plus side, the board material is very solder phobic, so you're not gonna, it would take some effort to bridge connections because the green part of the board rejects solder very well, which is nice. So it could be okay for a beginner. Of course, a beginner would, you'd probably want to tell him or her what they were building instead of saying, put this together and guess what it does. Actually, I'm going to look up here. I'm going to look up in my pile of other kits. Here's another kit I did the other day with a similar daughter board layout, and it actually went in that type of orientation. Man, I wish I knew. I wish there was a way to know. Maybe, see, this one at least has a plus sign, but this doesn't even have a plus sign, so I could trace it back. Oh, well, we'll see if it works or not. If it doesn't, I'll leave the leads. I won't clip the leads, so we can switch it around if it doesn't. Okay, so she's all put together. and only one spare part, only one extra transistor. It'll go in my spare part from kits box, which has a lot of parts. Many kits come with extras. So I'm going to go get a little power supply and we'll turn this thing on and see if I've got that right. I got a little power supply. These are very, very handy. I've got a build video of one of these on the channel. I'll put a link to it in the description. Let me grab 2 pieces of wire. And this one is positive, determined by the fact that the other one says ground, and also by following the traces, particularly because it feeds directly into the positive terminal of the speaker. So that was easy to figure out. I got to get another screwdriver. Not getting a screwdriver that can turn these things. Yikes. Well, that screw is frozen, and I busted the side of the connector there by doing that. Which, if I just do it symmetrically, is going to be okay, because I'm just going to bend this up. I don't really care about destroying this because this obviously is a cheapy little part, so I'm bending this tab out, and I'll do the same on the other side. And I'll just clip the banana plugs on, the alligator clips on directly. So there's positive, and I'm going to start at 5 volts. 3 volts is probably too low for the amount of LEDs on here, and more than that is probably too much. So I'm going to connect to ground right now, and we'll see if anything happens. Oh yeah. No sound, but LEDs light up. Yep. The pattern's changing. But again, no sound. Let me adjust this pot. And spit it up. So it makes blinkies. But no sound. So that certainly could mean, let me look at the schematic. Because if you can see this is a really bad print. If you see this, the LEDs come right off the counter chip. And again, I can't see where this goes. Let me stop it. And I'm going to take a closer look at this. So I'm going to flip this around. Trying to understand how it is. Okay, So this is E, and this should go to ground. And that's gone to ground. And this is E, and it should be going to one of the transistors. No, it's gone to the speaker. And no, well, I'm going to go ahead and, as I said, I'm going to desolder this and switch it the other way, because the LEDs appear to be, and it would make sense, the LEDs are independent of this daughter board. Get all this solder off that. And we'll put a positive on first, just because it's a little harder to get to. I'm still not getting any sound. I'm double checking the polarity on the speaker. Yeah, the speaker polarity is right. I'm gonna put the voltmeter on the speaker leads. See if I can get it in a shot. A little crowded. So let's see if we're getting any voltage at the speaker. No. Getting 5 volts. Getting 5 volts there, we're getting nothing to the speaker. So let's double check it while I've got this out. So it looks like, actually, quite frankly, there aren't enough connections here. I don't know. Again, I apologize for this printing. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, but then there are supposed to be a connection to positive voltage and a connection to ground that goes into what's under that potting material. And there's no other... Oh, okay, I see it. Huh. Okay, there are 2 pads here. 1, 2, which are not drilled, but need to go to ground and VCC. So, I know we're going a little long on this for a dumb little project, but I do want to make it do something. So I'm going to try something else. So I've got 2 pieces of wire that have been hanging around my workbench for a couple of weeks, being annoying, and I keep trying to use them for things and they don't work because they're too big, but I think it'll work on this one. So what I'm going to do is solder 2 wires, one on this pad and one on this pad, and then connect, we look at the schematic, if we look at it like, I'm trying to look at it the way it's set up. This way, this outside one is going to go to positive, and the second one in is going to go to negative. And we'll see if that does anything. So what did I just say? Outside to positive. So what we'll do is we'll grab a little solder and build up a little pool of solder here on this circuit board. And this end of the wire is already tinned. No, it's not. The other end, actually neither end is tinned. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. We'll just set the wire on top of that little pool of solder, heat it up, heat it up, heat it up, and it sinks in. Kinda, not really. This solder pad is not a great solder pad for holding solder. There, that'll be on just fine for our little lash up. Now the only thing I was thinking about, because actually it's been about a week since the last shot. I had to go out of town for something. But as I was thinking about this the other night, I may have to lift things up and replace them again, because I may have changed when I made the switch the last time it didn't work or didn't put out any sound. It may have turned the controls the wrong way. So we're going to go do this again, and I got to remember what I'm doing. So this is ground, and we'll clamp this in with this alligator clip. That seems to be fine. Now we'll get positive on, actually, damn it, we'll do the positive one first because it's harder to get to. Okay, so positive is attached. And negative is attached. I'm going to take the voltage all the way down before I plug this in. Plug it in. And of course nothing's happening yet. Got to get above 3 volts or so before we'll see anything. Okay, so whatever I did, now the LEDs won't even light up, so let me pull one of these out. Pull both of these out. There we go. Now we got the lights going again, but we don't have anything from this. Let me try grounding this again. Well, now it doesn't seem to be having a problem, but I'm still not getting any sound. And grounding it does seem to turn off the lights. So this is probably set up wrong again. I'm going to go through that exercise again of desoldering this and flipping it around. So I'm going to turn off the cameras because you don't need to see that again. So we're reconfigured back to the way I originally had done it before I had powered this additional chip. So we're going to do one more try here, and if this doesn't get us sound, we're going to call it a day because I'm done messing around with this thing. So let me turn the voltage down again, plug her in. Let's see what we got. It's 3 volts-ish. Here's 5 volts. And again, it's flashing to beat the band. However, there's still nothing coming out of the speaker. But at least this time, having this chip powered is not turning off the lights. So that's a positive, I guess. I'm going to hold this up to my ear. Maybe it's very, very low. Nope. That's what it does. So, there you go. Another cheapy kit from eBay that's proving to be worth every penny. I'm actually gonna drive the voltage up. I'll put the voltage in the camera view. Let's see how much. So we're at about, there's 7 volts, 6.5 volts. Oh, it's not taking that. This is killing my little power supply here to do that. So even up at 9 volts, for the brief time I can maintain it, I'm still not hearing any sound. See if I'm not feeling any components getting particularly warm either. So that's it. I'm not going to mess around with it anymore. We did end up with one spare transistor to go in our spare parts box. So hope you enjoyed this. Again, sometimes you get what you pay for on eBay.